Hello, welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm going to share my experiences at Discovery Middle School on Eclipse Day 2017, deep in the heart of totality. So let's rewind 2 days. 2 days ago was August 21st, 2017, and we live here in Liberty, Missouri. We were inside the path of totality. So 2 days ago at 1:08 p.m. in the afternoon, we had 2 minutes and 8 seconds of darkness from the solar eclipse. People have been preparing for this event for well over a year. I know our school district first started talking about how we were going to experience it as a school district, and one of the things we did was we bought these glasses for our students so they would be able to view it safely. We had our logos put on it, things like that. But there was a lot of discussion about what we were going to do as a school district. There were some school districts around us that decided to not have school that day. There were some questions about student safety. Would teachers be able to really protect students and not let them look at the sun when it was dangerous for them to do that? Because we were in the path of totality, our school district decided it would be a great event to kind of connect school together. And we decided to have school that day, and each individual building was able to kind of plan their day around the eclipse. So here at Discovery, what we did was we had an early release schedule. So all of our students saw all of their teachers and classes throughout the day. We had lunch, and then we kind of wrapped up our day around 12:30 or so. So typically a schedule we would do if we have like an early release day for PD and things like that. And then all of us went outside. We have something called advisory, so we have kind of like a homeroom type situation. So each teacher took their students outside, and we started at about 12:40, so shortly after the eclipse began to happen. So once we were outside, all of our students were using their special eclipse glasses, and each teacher was in charge of roughly, I don't know, like 15 students or so. And we have a fairly large building, so we decided to go out the doors that we typically do for our fire drill. So it really wasn't that crowded. We kind of spaced out a little bit. There were some people that came and wanted to view it with their students and things like that, some parents. But we went outside at about 12:30. And it was amazing because earlier in the day, the weather was horrible. It was cloudy in the morning, and there was a huge downpour. And so at about probably 10:30 or so, with all the rain and cloud cover, everybody was watching the radar, and it looked like it was going to clear up in time for the eclipse. But it's hard to think positively and look outside and see a downpour happening and envisioning that in, an hour and a half, they would be completely clear. So we kept our fingers crossed, and literally probably about 12 o'clock or so, started to get sunny. There were some clouds in the sky, but it wasn't rainy. The temperature was great. It wasn't really hot outside. So we went outside about 12:30. Everybody spread out. And I did bring a couple things to take some pictures of mainly the reaction from the students. I did not have any solar lenses on my nice camera, so I didn't take any pictures with my nice camera. I did take just a few pictures with my cell phone, but I also had a GoPro hooked up to do some time lapse. And then I also wanted to take a little bit of drone footage, just kind of the experience on the ground and how it got dark and those types of things. So I was trying to capture it as much as I could, but I also definitely didn't want to be so caught up in capturing it that I didn't experience it myself. So I wanted to make sure that I made that kind of definition between experience and really not worry too much about if I got the right picture or things like that. So we're outside, everything's starting to get a little bit dark, and it's really hard to kind of describe what's happening when you're out there, because it's kind of a weird light. It's not really dark, but it's kind of like gradually changing. And then as we got to about 4 minutes until totality, I decided to record just a little kind of like what's happening at this moment segment. So this is what was happening about 4 minutes before totality. So we're about 4 minutes to totality. If you can hear the crickets in the background, it's getting lighter. It's getting darker. And it's getting cooler. And then, bam, totality hits. And it is like, you know, they always talk about like there's only 1 degree difference between hot water and boiling water. And that's kind of, for me, what happened with totality. I mean, you're like there, and then bam, when totality hits, it gets like completely dark. And everybody had talked about how it's a really spiritual event and it's life-changing and all that kind of stuff. And again, like I honestly didn't know if I believed that it was going to be that amazing. I didn't know if there was going to be, you know, that kind of like spiritual moment for me. But after experiencing it, I can definitely say it was. I mean, it was amazing when you look up there and you see the sun and you have totality and there's the ring. And then one of the things that I had seen people talk about in advance was kind of like seeing the 360-degree sunset. And it was amazing to look around and kind of see that glow in all different directions. And for me, it was really cool to experience it with our students. You know, I guess if I do it again, which I do plan on doing, it'd be cool to experience with my wife and my kids and everything. But I was really impressed with how our students kind of soaked in the moment. They were enjoying it, and they really, really kind of felt like they were a part of it as we kind of talked about it afterwards. So totality was awesome. You come out of totality, and then it starts to get dark again. And I had mentioned that it was really cloudy before. After totality, some clouds moved in, and we weren't able to fully see the second part. I guess it's the descent part. But we had seen totality, like the entire time of totality. The clouds had kind of magically moved away. So it was awesome to be able to see totality, no clouds. The weather was great. It was just a great, great experience. I definitely am a fan. I think that the next reachable solar eclipse with totality for me to see would be in the southern part of Missouri in 2024. And my wife and I have already talked about we definitely want to make plans to travel somewhere and see it. I think that you kind of appreciate it more when you realize that we have no control over the weather that day. And there are some places I know where people had gone and gathered and come from thousands of miles away, and they were only able to see totality for a little bit. So we felt really lucky to be able to see it. Now, I mentioned that I did some drone footage. So here's a little bit of drone footage. I didn't want to be totally up in the air and kind of obstruct anybody's views. And we had a lot of people around us. And so I only hovered probably, 25, 30 feet or so, but just wanted to kind of get off the ground and kind of see what totality looked like, and then coming back out of totality. So here's a little bit of footage showing the area in front of our school from the drone. Now, I also put a GoPro on a tripod in front of our school that kind of shows the sign in front of our school. And I wanted, again, to kind of just capture what it looks like on the ground. I wasn't trying to necessarily get the sun at all. I didn't want to ruin any cameras or anything. So here's a really quick time lapse. I set it on every 5 seconds. And if I did it again, I would probably put it at an interval of maybe 2 seconds or even do the full video, just because the coolest part is the moment of totality. And by taking it every 5 seconds, I didn't quite capture as much of it as I would have if I would have lowered it to 2. But I think it turned out pretty cool, and you can kind of see the definite kind of like sunrise effect as you go around. So here's the time lapse from the GoPro. When I got home, I talked to my wife, who's a teacher also in the district, and talked to her about her experiences. She's at an elementary school, and they had a great experience. They really enjoyed it. The students really grasped kind of like the enormity of the moment. And then we have 2 daughters. One is in 4th grade and one is in 8th grade. So of course we talked to them a little bit about their experiences. And here's just a couple thoughts from them the afternoon of the eclipse and what they did at school.
It was really cool.
What was the coolest part?
Probably seeing the 360 sunset around the eclipse.
Cool. And you watched it at Manor Hill. You had your glasses and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Was it like, what did the students do when the totality happened? Did you guys make any sound or do anything?
Yes, we were like freaking out, and I was next to my best friend, and we were like shaking together and hugging, and it was really fun. We were like, it's happening!
All right, so Addison, you were at Liberty Middle School. What was it like for you?
When Totality hit, it was super loud. Most of the school was screamy. We didn't see too much of the 360 sunset, but it was faintly there. Clouds were blocking the descent, but we got to watch most of the ascent. It was very interesting. Corona was beautiful.
So were you worried at all in the morning when it started raining?
Yes. Yeah. Most of my friends and I were freaking out because we weren't sure if we were going to eat lunch on the lawn, as we were told we would earlier. We weren't sure we were going to be able to watch most of the ascent. Yeah.
Cool. So the next total one in Missouri is 2024. Do you guys think it'd be worth it to go and find a place to see it in southern Missouri in 2024?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now you'll notice in that video my daughters are wearing Eclipse shirts. Those are shirts that the school district designed, and teachers could buy them, students could buy them. Our entire family bought those and wore those the day of the eclipse. Yes, we're total geeks. So we took a picture here before we all went to our separate schools during the day. And here's a picture of us in our eclipse shirts heading off to Eclipse Day 2017. So there's my quick thoughts on the eclipse of 2017. Hope you enjoyed it. I plan on going to the next major one in the United States in 2024. Who knows what we'll be able to record with down the road in 2024. If you like this vlog, go ahead and subscribe. I try and do a lot of different ideas about things that are happening in technology, in history, broadcasting, computer science, things that relate to history and technology. So check us out, subscribe, and every episode will come to your inbox. Thanks a lot. My name is Eric Langhorst. I'm the History Geek Teacher. Until next time, bye.